Back in 2020, I became the New Zealand strongest man in my first ever attempt, and I am a qualified strength coach and athlete, and I've helped hundreds of people get strong and fit. And today I'm going to show you how to train upper body power properly, why it matters for strength and performance, and we're going to be breaking down exercise order, sets, reps, and rest intervals, and the full structure of a proper upper body workout. So let's get straight into it. The first movement we're doing here is a speed banded bench press. I love this movement personally because it teaches you explosiveness. It gets a barbell in your hand, but when you do this workout, when you do this movement here, you're not really going to rip up your chest, and that's good because you can recover faster, especially if you already have another upper body day during the week, which probably most of you have. And if you're doing any sort of dynamic effort work, usually you'll pair that with another day that's kind of heavier. So it's a good contrast between having heavy and light. And you can see here I'm using some bands. The bands are there to make it harder at the top. Like when you are pushing through the movement, right? Because we're only using about 40 to 50% of our 1 rep max. And so it's light, right? And so when we add the band, it's kind of making it harder as we push through the motion. So at the top of the range, it's actually, heavier than it is at the bottom. And it's a kind of a cool feeling if you actually try it out. It's light at the bottom, as you push through it gets harder, so it teaches you to push through the whole range. This is why I love the banded bench press. Next up, we have the seated Z barbell Z press. Personally, I love this movement too, and I freaking hate it at the same time because it's pretty hard, to be honest. Like, look at the setup here. I'm setting it up on the pins here, right? As I've set it, it's just about shoulder level, or just a little bit below that, so that when I bring it down, it's not banging the pins. So make sure you set that up right. And this is great because it's a lot of core as well as overhead strength. You can't really use your legs to kind of push the barbell up. So I love it just for that movement there. Kind of stuff that rep up there, but usually I use a suicide grip, but on this one for some reason I just went full grip with thumb under, and it's quite hard for me to get my head through at the top in this position, and so that's kind of why I'm trying to get my head through at the top. So if you're doing this, you want to make sure you try and get your head through at the top to get full range of motion too, controlling it on the way down. And with your feet, you want to try and push them into the ground to keep you stable as well. Very awesome movement, barbell Z press. Next movement we're going on to is weighted chin-ups, and this is got to be a staple in your program. If you're doing strength training, you want to be doing some sort of chin-up, whether that's assisted. If you need to start out doing assisted, if you can't do an unassisted yet, use assistance, use bands, use an assisted machine, use a feet elevated chin up so that you can build strength. Okay, building your upper back, doing heavy rows will help you get your chin ups. With this chin up here, I'm going full range of motion, and I'm doing a full extension at the bottom and then getting my chin over at the top. I think this is my third set here. I'm using 10 kgs in added weight, and really I'm trying to engage my upper back on each one. This is the boys Gav and Bobby also doing some weighted chin-ups. I highly recommend you do weighted chin-ups, man. If you're not doing these in your program, then you need to be rotating these in, every so often, or doing a different variation. They help a lot, honestly. Like, chin-ups are the freaking one, man. Like, I've been doing these for ages, and I remember when I couldn't even do a chin-up, and now I'm doing as at a heavy body weight at the moment. I'm pretty heavy at the moment. Bobby's there is doing 10 kgs when he thought he could do 8, but I pushed him into 10. But honestly, man, if you try this out, if you do the weighted chin-up, I promise you'll get great results in your upper back, and it'll transfer over to other movements too. You wouldn't believe like how good my grip strength is, because when I do chin-ups, I just hang on. Even if I'm tired, I'll just still hang on and try and bust out another rep. And there's Bobby there, and he hits the 12 kgs added weight, and yeah, man, like, do weighted chin-ups. I cannot stress how much important weighted chin-ups are in your strength training journey. It doesn't matter where you are at. If you need to do a reverse grip lat pull down, start with that. Build yourself up to get to assisted pull-ups using the machine or a band. And then once you go from band, then you go to body weight, and then you go to added weight. Then we move on to some accessory work. This is a neutral grip floor press. This is important. Doing the neutral grip, it's a different grip from the bench press we're doing. So with bench press, we had our hands pronated, right? And then with the neutral grip, obviously it's a little bit different. So we're targeting different areas of the muscles in our back and our chest, okay? And then we supersat with a ring face pull. I highly recommend this movement here. Upper back work really helps, especially if, you know, most of us are just, you know, hunched over on our phones today at our computers and all that kind of stuff. And so doing movements like the face pull really helps to make sure you don't get that hunchback of Notre Dame kind of thing. Okay, so that's it for the video. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions about strength training, please drop them in the comments. I kind of like doing this kind of voiceover, so I'll be dropping some more, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see more strength training.